Hello everybody, Aries Wrath here, and today we're going to be talking about UTXOs and change wallets. And we're going to build up on all the information that I've already talked about in my previous videos between mining, wallet setup, and we're going to bring that together so we can start reading a blockchain. And I know the way it looks and the way it's kind of explained online is pretty complicated, and also most people hate reading acronyms within an acronym. Luckily for you guys, I was in the military at one point in my past life, and acronyms within an acronym is what I live for. So I'm going to be explaining it to you at the most baseline, dumbed down way, and showing you how you could use this information to not only read a blockchain, but to secure your own wallet, to make better decisions with your wallet, and how to properly secure yourself and your crypto. So we'll start off with unspent transaction outputs, or UTXOs. These are very critical to understanding how to read a blockchain and why certain things are laid out the way they are. So let's say you worked a long day and your employer sent you 5 PEP as payment for that day, and you wanted to buy a candy bar after work that was worth 3 PEP. Well, let's say you only requested 1 PEP back. That means the miners would get the difference at 1 PEP, but you would have to send the full 5 PEP into the blockchain, where it will automatically break up that UTXO and give you your 1 PEP back in the form of a different UTXO. And the miners would receive the difference between what you sent and what you requested back. Every wallet, or I should say most wallets, automatically adjust this to be more advantageous to the users rather than the miners. Now, obviously, sometimes it has to change because when the blockchain is congested and the miners can't complete all the transactions that are on the block at once, it gets more expensive to send your block through. This incentivizes more miners to come online, and this incentivizes you to either wait or to pay more money to send your block through now. I know what you're thinking. That's pretty simple, easy enough. Well, it gets a little bit more complicated when you have more UTXOs. For example, this is the example of $5 worth of 4 UTXOs for a $4 transaction, right? And you only wanted 0.5 PEP back. That means you're giving 0.5 PEP to the miners. But as you see to the left, you have 4 UTXOs, 3 being worth 1 PEP and 1 being worth 2 PEP. All of that would be sent to the block, and the block would then take the difference and send it back to your address. And whatever's left over would get sent to the miner to complete your transaction. So let's get a live look on how this would look like if you were actually analyzing a blockchain for yourself, or the blockchain I should say, or analyzing a project or anything really. And the best way to give an example to this is using Litecoin Pool's most recent sell. Because when you go to detailed view, it's all 500K, which means these transactions that they received were all 500K. And you see there's like small little decimal points at the end, and that's because those were the fees for the block reward. Somebody was transferring funds and they received those fees, and that was part of the UTXO. So everything you see here is 500K or more, and this contributes to not only the mining rewards, but also the total 10 mil. And it works this way because it will always select the most efficient way to the round number you want, plus your entered block fees or your miner fees. And now what you're thinking is, what about this wallet at the bottom, right? They took 0.02 and some change, and there's 0.05 and some change. So you can do some math and realize there was a leftover amount. And this is part of the next topic, change addresses. So let's use the same example as before to explain change addresses. You sent that same 5 PEP for the $3 candy bar, and you wanted 1 PEP back. Well, that means the miners would take 1 PEP, and you would receive 1 PEP. But there's a change address, and it's a privacy feature built in. It's a whole new address to receive the 1 PEP that you're getting back, and it adds it to the same wallet or key that you have. See, you have about 100 wallets already pre-generated to your one key or to your one receive address. So now what does this look like for you on your end? And it doesn't look like anything. You sent 5 PEP, you got 1 PEP back, and you knew you were losing 1 due to the miner fee. So really, it doesn't look like anything changed. Now how does this work on the back end of things? And let me show you that. So on the back end of things, while using the same exact example as we used before, right, with the 10,000 coming out, and we saw that little 0.025 amount. And if we click that, it created its own UTXO on its own wallet. And it's not really trackable. You can't really, there's nothing else to see other than it came from Litecoin Pool. But it went to Litecoin Pool's address. And that's going to create a separate UTXO within all of their UTXOs. So what does this mean to you? And if you just want to be a goober, it doesn't mean anything to you. Meme tokens and to the moon for everything. But for people that actually want like a general understanding of how these things work and to be able to read transactions and blockchains, this is a main building block for how you progress in being able to dissect projects. Because let's be honest, a lot of them pre-mine. A lot of them have very weird tax rules, and like they tax for marketing, which kind of ruins the decentralization aspect of them because it's going to an account that the owner of the coin holds, and they use it for marketing and exchange purposes. But like you can't really confirm that. You can just confirm that there's coins coming in and out of there. And it allows you to understand how most cryptocurrencies work. And most cryptocurrencies work off of a trust for network, not trust for dev. And that's one thing a lot of people have to understand, especially if you're switching from a token, that the trust for dev thing it isn't a thing. You have trust for nobody on the internet. We are all strangers. And realistically, until you really look into it, this is all just magic internet money. So what this means for you is that maybe you can dissect certain things and get an understanding of how a certain blockchain moves, whether it's PEP or it's any other blockchain out there. It'll kind of guide you into why transactions flow the way they do, which is one step closer to being able to dissect the entire blockchain when you go to look into one. Now for the security aspect of this video. And I want to be very clear. There's a reason why everything is going to be blurred. I take security very seriously. And everything that I am presenting today or giving to you as advice is something that I would do myself if I didn't have better means. Luckily for myself, I have better means of storing my cryptocurrency. But for the average consumer, the average person, these are going to be the best ways. The security aspect of this video, we're going to be using Pepecoin Core. And we're going to be using Pepecoin Core because it acts as a node. Unlike the rest of the wallets that you'll see, cold storage or any sort of storage, they're not nodes. So you're actually helping the blockchain by using the core wallet, but also at any point you can move a block along using the core wallet, and I'll explain that later on. With that being said, this is the most secure wallet you could use. Why? Because if you screw it up, it is 100% user error. There's no down for maintenance. There's no, our servers are offline, or we couldn't send that transaction now. It is based off of you and one other node. That's it. And hopefully at least one miner. Luckily, we share about 99% of the network hash rate that Doge and Litecoin have. So we don't really have to worry about that. But if you go over here to the settings section, and you click encrypt wallet, it'll give you two choices, either a 10-character password or an 8-word seed phrase. Both of them, which for all intents and purposes here, let's just call them encryption phrases. You can enter anything you want, and you can choose either method. In most cases, if someone were to try to hack your wallet using standard hacking methods, it would take them anywhere between 10 and 45 years to figure out your encryption phrase. And that's with a standard 10-character password. If you use capitals or special characters, that goes up to hundreds of millions of years very quickly. Luckily, quantum computers aren't really a thing yet. They kind of are, kind of not, but I digress. Right? So we're going to set up a encryption phrase, and once that is set up and you have remembered that, and if whether you want to write it down, inscribe it on wood, send a letter to God, or put it on a metal block, it doesn't matter how you choose to do it. Find a way to remember it and save it. Even if you take a picture of it on your phone, it's not the worst idea, but it is definitely not the most securest idea. You then go to File, and you're gonna back up your wallet. And when you back up your wallet, there are about 3 options that the average person can do. You can put it on a USB, you can put it on a backup hard drive, or you can make a brand new email with a unique email. Honestly, bang your head on the keyboard and roll it around a little bit, and then make a password. Make the password unique, but something you can kind of remember. And you write that also on a piece of paper, or however you're going to inscribe your password and email. When that is done, email the wallet.dat file to yourself. Don't use this email for anything else. You don't want to be a part of any database breach or anything going on. You want this email to specifically hold a singular, not multiple, singular .dat file that is encrypted. That means at any moment, if your computer blows up, there's a house fire, and everything goes away, and you were able to save your email, password, and encryption key, you could eventually log in on a new computer, re-download that .dat file, and have your wallet again. There's no worries, and there's no need to stress about it. You will always have it. There are risks to everything. This is your bank account. You're at control of your own bank account. Make smart decisions. You would never let somebody else access your bank account. You would never give somebody the username or ID to your bank account, and you would never let somebody have your debit card number and all the details to it. Treat it the same way, and you'll never have to worry. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is all I have for you today. This is Aries Wrath, and you guys have a wonderful rest of your night.